I also did want to point out this babyface turn for the Boss Man is taking place on the Brother Love show, and the Brother Love show became kind of a central location for big creative events in the WWF during this period. Ted, Bruce Prichard, his Brother Love, and his ability to get stories over to the WWF audience. What did you think?
He was good. He was good, and Bruce and I, our friendship went back to when I first met Bruce. He was, he's from Houston, Texas, and he was, I guess, he was like Paul Bosch's right hand man.
He was kind of a gopher for Paul Bosch and Bill Watts.
Yeah, and I remember, there were a lot of nights when I, we would work Houston, and I'd go out with Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Go get something to eat and have a few beers and all that stuff. And then one day, I told him, well, I'm getting ready to go back to Japan. And he says, I'm getting ready to go to New York, see about getting a job. I said, really? I said, well, hey, throw my name out there and let them know I'm available. The rest is history.
And let me say, Bruce has gone on record as saying that you were one of the funnest guys to go out with back in the day. You mentioned that you would go out with him in the Mid-South territory. He's like, boy, did I have a lot of fun with Ted. And then but then he amended it. And he was like, but then Ted found God and things changed.
Well, and that's true. That's the truth. So.
Yeah. Now, Bruce is considered by a lot of people to be one of the best creative minds ever in wrestling. Would you? I mean, man, what a incline for him in his career. He was a gopher for Paul Bosch and Bill Watts. Worked his ass off, worked his way up, and now he's at kind of the right hand man for Vince McMahon, and he's coming up with a lot of creative. Would you agree with that assessment of Bruce? That,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and I'll go so far as to, like, when I was Bruce produced. Like all those vignettes that they saw of me before I ever stepped foot in the ring, before they ever saw me in a pair of wrestling tights and boots.
Mm-hmm.
They kept showing these vignettes, about, me kicking all the kids out of the swimming pool and kicking the honeymoon couple out of the best, obviously. Like I want the finest, the finest room in this hotel. Well, that would be the honeymoon suite. And I said, oh yeah, well, I lay down the money, and all the honeymooners getting out of there, and I take over the suite. But Bruce helped produce all of those vignettes.
I don't think that we've often enough given Bruce his flowers here on the show, but like to your point, Ted, yep, you executed the $1 Million Man to perfection. But before you ever set foot on camera, Bruce helped to set the table for that whole thing because
he did. Bruce was there for all those vignettes that I did, and kind of coached me when I needed to be coached. Like, how would that look? Yeah, he's and a good guy. He's back working for him, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's still with the company, and I'm sure that he'll be out in Vegas when you and I are there
for a while. And I don't know what that was all about. I have no idea.
I think Bruce experienced some burnout, and there was an incident backstage at one point, and he was let go. And so it was whatever. He was gone for a handful of years, and then made his return. I believe it was in 2018 or 2019, and he's been there ever since.
Yeah.